Hey, how's it going? Jacob Palacio here, with another horror film review for you, because that's what I do best. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, 2022, we're here, we're live, we're going, it's happening. I'm reviewing some Christmas-themed horror films for you guys. I just got done reviewing Violent Night, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about another Christmas-themed horror film that came out this year. And that film that I'm going to be talking about for this video is going to be The Mean One. The Mean One is quite a doozy, let me tell ya. Wowee. This film is directed by Stephen Lamorte. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that name wrong. But before I delve any deeper into The Mean One, I have a pretty mean sponsor for you guys for this video today. So I'm gonna pass it on to my buddy Jacob to talk about it. Jacob? Thanks, Jacob. I just flew by in town to talk to you about today's sponsor. I'm Jacob Foster, by the way. That's Movie Palette. This is today's sponsor. Pretty cool. So movie palettes are created by a team of artists who carefully choose colors for these canvas paintings. What they do is they take a movie and then they take the color of each movie, the most common color of every scene, and they put it in chronological order from left to right. It's pretty cool how they do it, and they also a good little touch is that the length of each stripe also represents the length of the scene in that movie. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, you can also go on their website and you can suggest your own movie palette for them to do for the same price, and that's cool. I have my own discount code. Yeah, that's right, Jacob15. You can get 15% off your order if you use that at the checkout. All you gotta do is type in Jacob15 in the little discount code text box thingy, and then you're good. You got 15% off your order. It's fucking cool. Holy shit, that deal blew me away. But anyways, yeah, that's all I have to say. Yeah, that's really it. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. You can go back to the video. All right, back to you, Jacob. Thanks, Jacob. All right, so I went and saw a double feature with this film and Christmas Bloody Christmas, and I was pretty surprised to see that they were actually showing these two super low budget, horror movies, and I was like, why the fuck are they showing these in theaters? And it turns out it's because there's literally no other, movies that came out that weekend. There's like fucking nothing. So they literally just grabbed whatever they could and just showed, whatever they could get their hands on, I guess, which is why they showed The Mean One and Christmas Bloody Christmas, and I saw both of those back to back in theaters, so it was pretty cool. So yeah, The Mean One, it's in the same vein as that, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey film coming out, where it's like a horror take on a classic, children's character slash source material show, movie, whatever book. But this time it's the Grinch, and oh boy is he a mean one in this one. So The Mean One is about this small town that lives in the middle of these mountains, and the film is following a little girl named Cindy. Cindy's parents get brutally fucking massacred on the night of Christmas, or the Christmas Eve I want to say it is, by this big green scary man, and ever since then she's been traumatized, as anybody would be, to fucking see that their parents are being slaughtered by the fucking Grinch, you know what I'm saying? So the film takes place 20 years later, where Cindy's all grown up and she hasn't quite moved past, her parents being murdered by the Grinch. And yeah, it turns out that there's a bunch of other murders going on, around this town, and it turns out that people are saying there's a fucking green man walking around killing these people. So the Grinch is back, baby. He's back 20 years later to wreak havoc in this small sleepy town in the mountainside. And holy shit, that's pretty much it. That's The Mean One. There's really nothing much else to it. Of course, Cindy kind of, gets the courage to try and be badass and try to learn how to kill this and take down this guy and get redemption after he killed her parents all those years ago. And yeah, wow, this is a fucking interesting movie. So the Grinch in this film is actually played by David Howard Thornton. Did I say that right? Yes, David Howard Thornton. It's played by David Howard Thornton. You may not know his name, but you definitely know his face. He plays Art the Clown in the Terrifier films, and he decided to play the Grinch in this film. Although they don't call him the Grinch in this film, because I guess it has to do something, with copyrights. So they do this little gag throughout the film where they're about to say the Grinch, but then somebody else just finishes a sentence. It's kind of fun. So yeah, they don't actually call him the Grinch, but they do call him the Mean One in the film. So David Howard Thornton plays the green one. David Howard Thornton plays the mean one in this film. And yeah, he kind of tries to do the same exact thing that he does with Art the Clown, where he doesn't speak, you know, he's completely silent, but he does a lot of body movement and expressions. He's pretty good at making, you know, the villains that he plays have, you know, a lot of personality to them, so to speak. And yeah, that's kind of the same case with this one, except it's nowhere near on the same level of innovativeness as Art the Clown, I would say. But this is a strange movie because it's a movie about the Grinch, which is kind of fucking cool that, you know, it is a horror movie about the fucking Grinch, but goddamn, this movie sucks. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna fucking throw it out there. This movie's not very good. The only way I could see myself coming back to this movie is if I'm like laying in bed and it's 2 a.m. and I'm, you know, really, really high, then I would probably watch this movie again. Otherwise, I would probably never watch this movie again. And what's interesting about this film is they didn't even like do their own version of the Grinch as we know him, you know, in the Dr. Seuss story. Instead of doing their own take on that character, they instead just kind of completely replicated the Ron Howard Grinch movie, which is really fucking weird. So they mimic a lot of Jim Carrey's expressions and, you know, little quirks from that film specifically, you know, like a lot of like whatever the fuck he does. It's all like a callback to that, which is really fucking weird, instead of, you know, them just doing their own version of the character. Like, why didn't they just do their own version of it? They literally could have done so much more, you know, cool, creative, unique stuff with it. But no, they just decided to make fun of Jim Carrey's The Grinch. But yeah, this movie looks like it came straight out of the Sci-Fi Channel. It looks like it was made by, you know, The Asylum or something like that. It's very, very low budget. The acting isn't great. The cinematography is incredibly unspecial, and the blood and gore in like all the horror sequences aren't even really that cool. In fact, a lot of them are just a lot of it is CGI blood, which I found to be really disappointing, especially when you're comparing this to something like Terrifier, which, you know, tries to actually use, you know, practical effects and gore and things like that. It's really creative in its horror sequences, whereas here it's just kind of like, all right, just throwing some CGI blood in there. So yeah, I'm disappointed in it for doing that. But yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about this film aside from the fact that it's just, you know, it's making fun of Jim Carrey's The Grinch, and that's kind of all it's really doing. Anyways, that's the mean one. That's really all I have to say about this movie. I don't know what else to fucking say about it. Overall, I would probably give the mean one a solid 4 out of 10. Not quite a 3, but not quite a 5. I think it's worse than a 5, but not quite as bad as a 3. It's not completely, like, you know, offensive in its, you know, craft and its filmmaking, and it's, you know, it looks like that they had a little bit of fun making this maybe, but it's just the execution was just fucking not as good as they wanted it to be, I would imagine. But yeah, and the ending is so fucking weird too. I completely forgot to bring up the ending. The ending, like, kind of tries to, like, redeem the Grinch as a character. His heart grows 2 times its size, or 3 times its size, or whatever, and he, you know, he becomes friends with the Whoville people. It's kind of the same case in this one, where it's like, you know, he's just kind of like a misunderstood creature, or at least that's what, you know, they want you to believe. And Cindy ends up, like, forgiving him and not killing him at the end, after, like, some big confrontation at the end when you think she's gonna kill him. And it's so fucking weird, dude. Just thinking about it, it's really kind of fucking funny that they did that. Would I recommend it? I mean, it's not as cool as it sounds. I will say that. It's not the movie that you would want it to be, but it's an okay attempt. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Stay tuned for more videos coming very soon, and I will see you guys in the next one. All right, bye-bye.